Carolyn Fairbairn, Director-general of the CBI, which has said today that 9 in 10 people will need new skills by 2030 to support the future economy, costing some £13 billion a year. Carolyn, morning to you. Before we talk about this specific call that you've made today, I just wonder what you think about what we're seeing right now across the country. We've got Liverpool already in Tier 3, Northern Ireland in national lockdown, Wales heading that way, potentially Greater Manchester. Are we heading for a national lockdown again via stealth?
Well, I sincerely hope not, Ian. I mean, these are really crushing blows for the businesses in those areas where they have done so much to make their businesses COVID secure and made all sorts of investments. But, business, we're not epidemiologists. We will, of course, go with government judgment on this. But the absolutely crucial thing is that the financial support packages are in place and that there's real clarity around the trigger points. And neither of those two things are working well enough at the moment. There is still too much confusion around the financial support. I think at the CBI, we think that Tier 3 support, there does need to be more through local authorities. Tier 2 support is not strong enough, and there are opportunities there. And we do need clarity over the exit strategy and what those trigger points are. So real concern in business communities across the country, I would say today.
Carolyn, I don't know whether you heard what Chris Fletcher from the Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce was saying to me just now, but I mean, one of the things that he was suggesting is that his members are really confused if they go into Tier 3, how long they will remain that way, because obviously that has a bearing on their ability to ride through the crisis, and obviously they'll be trying to conserve cash as well.
This is an incredibly important point because decisions that you take around your staff, around your cash will be, running out the door at a frightening rate at the moment, and timing is everything. And we do urge the government and local leaders working together. I mean, that's the other thing. It is very, very damaging to see such conflicts and confusion between political leaders. But it would be very helpful to have trigger points. What are the points at which regions come out of lockdown again? And what is the appropriate financial support around the time when they're in? So confusion, I think, is really damaging to confidence and really damaging to businesses' ability to survive. So, yes, I think those trigger points become critical.
Does the government need to be publishing specific advice for local authorities on that?
Well, I think that they do, and I would really urge them to get round the table with business. We have seen that work very well during many parts of the pandemic in creating the right support packages and guidelines. We need that again now. It does feel as though we have fragmented as a country in terms of politics and the relationship with business communities. We offer our support to government to try and get these trigger points in the right place. Of course, businesses will continue to put health first. They will continue to protect their employees and customers as they have all the way through. But communication, consensus and unity remain absolutely vital through this.
Now, separately, Carolyn, you've got this big report out today on skills. You're calling for the apprenticeship levy to be replaced by a flexible skills and training levy. What would the key differences be?
Yes, so this is a really important call we've got today. We've of course got COVID accelerating the changes in the labour market, and with unemployment rising, the importance of giving people opportunities to retrain. We think that 21 million people will need new digital skills by 2030, to give you an example. The apprenticeship levy is a failed experiment. The idea is very good, a ring-fenced £3 billion that businesses are paying towards training. But the trouble is, it is so narrow, it is not being used properly, and apprenticeships are actually falling and not rising. So we are saying broaden this levy out, make it usable for a much broader range of training through lifetime learning in particular. And we will help to get this very, very important opportunity for our nation to reskill millions of people, literally, to help our economy succeed.
Now, elsewhere, Carolyn, the government's launched this new advertising campaign today aimed at businesses, saying time is running out. I mean, that will be greeted with hollow laughter by a lot of your members, given that you've been urging the government to do a deal.
Well, I mean, this is no time to give up on a deal. And 71 trade associations put a call out over the weekend. They represented 7 million employees across the country, saying the benefits of a deal are so great, tariff-free, smooth customs operations, and the fact that the Northern Ireland Protocol, this incredibly important protocol for peace and free trade in Northern Ireland, none of these things can happen without a deal. And it really is about jobs at a point in time where every single job counts. So this is not a time to give up. Businesses, of course, they will prepare. The CBI is helping businesses to prepare across the country. We're investing very heavily in that. But there is so little time. And this really is a moment. Both sides are still talking. It's a call to both sides. Get that deal. And I think we'll see investment rise in this country. We will see a bounce in our economy from this very challenging place, and jobs will be protected.
Who's better prepared for Brexit right now, Carolyn, the government or businesses?
Oh, well, I think preparations are, as people have done as much as they can. But honestly, there is 1 in 5 businesses that hasn't prepared. Half of businesses have gone backwards in their preparations. We are in the middle of a global pandemic. Brexit was knocked off the front page of every board agenda in the country. So we can't expect businesses to be fully prepared. And I think, frankly, the same is also true of government. Now, we will do all we can. And frankly, even if there's a deal, there will be very important changes. And we are letting our members and businesses know to prepare for those. But honestly, I think that the massive responsibility is on negotiators on both sides to get a deal. This really is jobs and livelihoods at stake on both sides of the channel.